And how do you know if you're muted or not?
It should show in the top right corner, or I'm sorry, bottom left of
It's
your,
at the bottom left.
in the bottom left, it'll have your name and a little red microphone with a line through it. So right now you're good. We can all hear you. And then whenever we move to training or announcements, that's when you'll want to click mute, and you click that in the top right corner. So perfect, Janet. You can open us up in prayer. We'll get started.
Okay. Thank you. Dear God, we thank you so much for Jesus. We thank you for the time that we have here now, and that we can take advantage of the time that we have. Thank you for the women that are putting their time and lives into this beautiful company that was created by Mary Kay and has been used in many ways. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Okay, I have a couple of announcements. So I always love the start of a new month, and I love when the start of a new month is on a Monday. It's like the trifecta to me. It's like we do everything all at the same time, because Monday is the start of a week, and I mean, I guess technically Sunday is, but the work week, I don't know. I think of Sunday as the end of the week, but technically it's the beginning. Anyway, I really like it when the first lands on a Monday, because I feel like everything's just fresh and you get to start. And I loved that February was shorter in some ways, but I'm ready for like a normal length month in business ways. So to have those 3 extra days like matters quite a bit. I guess some months it's 2, but usually it's the 3 extra days. So I'm really excited about that. But I know probably all of you got the text, but I know we have so many things going on. I have been very guilty of seeing a text and not really reading the text I got. So I did send a text earlier today where it was about our equinox goal. So crazy story. We earned that Malibu. We finished that up in October, and you have 6 months, every 6 months, you can either re-qualify or you can earn a different car. We're at the different car. So we have already finished everything, like the Malibus, like no problem. We've got that. We've like overdone what we have to do for that, but we are only I think is 98, something really close to that, to get the equinox, which is really, really cool. So that is our goal this month, and I am really excited. Every time you order $100 wholesale in the month of March, you will get an entry for a prize. I'm going to do a $50 gift card, and I've done like $50 to Amazon before, but I realized that everybody has different preferences, because you may not, I mean, I feel like probably right now a lot of people are doing a lot of Amazon things, but it's nice to have options. So you get to choose where your $50 gift card is for. So if you're like, I want to take my husband out for a nice dinner to wherever, or I really love to shop at this little place, as long as I can get to there. If it's like a local place, it's local to you, and I'm not able to like order a gift card online, that's like the only way this wouldn't work out. So as long as it's somewhere where I can order something for you to get it there, that is what I'm planning to do. So I'm really excited about that, because obviously for me, it's really, really cool that I get to earn a second car, and that's something we do as a unit, but I don't want it to be something where there's nothing that you guys get too. Obviously, it's fun to watch other people win, but I want you guys to get a win as well. So I'm really excited about that. And I know we're going to shut that goal down, because we're really good when we get close to a goal. We're like, okay, and we really do the work. And where it's at is doing parties. That's where sales are at. We can do sales challenges. We can supplement with other things. That's always an option. But the real money in our business is in the parties, because that's where we meet new people. It's where we get our sales. It's where we get our next party, which leads us to more people for more sales. So that's the biggest thing. And if you say, I don't know if I have time for parties right now, that's where sales challenges come in to help as well, because we do have multiple ways to work our business. But the beginning of the month is a great time to try to get your calendar filled up. So this is really, I try to really focus heavily on booking parties for the whole month during the first week, because then you're not as stressed in the last week, because you already kind of have worked your way towards this. So even if you can just get like 1 or 2 parties booked now, if you have those parties pretty soon, then you'll get new parties off of those parties, and it makes the end of the month a lot easier. So the more you can, I call it stacking, the more you can stack at the beginning of the month, the easier the rest of the month goes, if that makes sense. Because sometimes if you're like me, I don't know who else on here is a procrastinator, but sometimes I have a hard time getting in my groove until we're like right there. So I try to be a little more intentional. If I start my month well, it makes the end a lot easier. So that would be just kind of my tip for you. But I wanted to just kind of clarify what the Equinox giveaway was about, and that's wholesale. So whenever you order 100 wholesale, and it can be cumulative, because I can kind of look at your orders through the month. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 100 all at once. It could be 50 here, 50 there, 100 total. So you get your entry, and I will try to keep track of those really carefully. And it's not necessarily to the end of the month, it's till the end of the Equinox. So if we finish up Equinox production by the 29th, that's when the contest is over. So it's going to go until we finish that goal, which might take us all the way through the end of the month. But I mean, with the Malibu, we had it done, I think, a week or two before the end of the month. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So I wanted you guys to know that too. So you're not like, oh, if I had known, I probably would have placed my order, a little sooner. I don't want anybody to miss out just because I wasn't clear with what time frame that is. The time frame really depends on how our month goes. So get those parties going. The next thing I wanted to talk about was stars. Our star quarter ends on the 15th of this month. If you're not a star, there is time. You could start from $0 and still be a star by the 15th. So this is not something where it's like, oh, okay, she's talking about stars, moving on, this isn't for me. It is for anyone who wants it. Hannah Cook, some of you know her, some of you don't, but she's in Nancy's unit. She finished her star last quarter, I think, in 2 days. She just decided she was going to do it. She had very little in already with production, and she just really determined that she was going to message every one of her customers, people she'd never messaged before, and she got so many sales, you guys. So don't write it off. I'm putting up at least one post every day that's with an idea for how you could do a sales challenge each day to lead it up to it. So today's challenge was to sell 10 mascaras. Sometimes when I have something like that, if I'm doing it with my customers, you want to text more than 10 because probably not all 10 are going to say yes. Traditionally, it breaks down to about a third of the people that you ask will do it. So you don't have to pick each of them every day. You'll probably get overwhelmed. So it's pick like the ones that resonate with you. So you might want to pick 2 or 3. Even if you decide not to go for star, they'll help you get to Igniter, which is 300 by the 15th, or Spark, which is, or being a sparkler, by the 600 by the end of the month. So even if your goal isn't star, these sales challenges will help you get to whatever your goal is. Even if it's just, I just want to make this money for my family. I don't necessarily care about, ordering so much from the company. I just need this much for my family. These work for that. This is a business, so we want to have money for our families. We're not just making money to give it back to Mary Kay. There are times when maybe we do that a little bit for certain goals, but that should be the exception and not the rule. So it's really good to have like goals and think of things that you want to do for your family. I mean, we got to go to Disney on Mary Kay money. I bought us a new fridge, which was unexpected, but our other fridge just gave up the ghost. That was on Mary Kay money. So it might be unexpected or it might be an expected thing, but have something that you're working towards with your Mary Kay money, because when you have something you want to do with it, you're a lot more likely to work when you don't feel like working, because you have a bigger goal than that day's feelings. Because my day's feelings are really different day to day. So I have to have something that I'm like, okay, but this matters a little bit more, so I can do 10 minutes of booking today. Even though I don't want to, it'll push me towards that. So pick something. I don't know what's going to resonate with you, so I can't pick for you. We all have our own goals, our own things, whether it's I want to take my husband out to a really nice meal this month. I want to get all of our groceries on Mary Kay's dime this month. I want to treat my kids to ice cream whenever they have a great test grade. Whatever it is that will help you work more consistently, that's something that's really good to set for yourself. And we're looking for 5 stars in our unit. We have 2 already, and they are my mom, Amy, and Janine Brockmeyer. I need to check and see. I think both of them have leveled up since my last post. So they are at there's different levels of stars, which is really, really cool. And you get different prizes. So I am really excited about that, but we're looking for 3 more. So if you're sitting there going, I kind of maybe want to work toward it, I don't know if I can. The only thing that you're going to lose by trying is you're going to lose your doubt. Even if you didn't make star, you will make more sales than you would have if you didn't try. You will push yourself to be braver than you would have if you didn't try. So I would say just try. The only failure is not trying. Honestly, in Mary Kay, the only way you can fail is to give up or stop trying. The next thing I want to talk about is we have a couple specific goals we're looking for our unit this month, and I'm really excited because I've never looked at our goals this way before, but I think this is a really great time to try something new. So this month we are looking for 1 new red jacket. Now, it's not that we can't have more than one, but we are zeroing in. This is a very specific thing. We're looking for one new red jacket. This could be anyone. You could have 0 teammates and have a red jacket by the end of the month. You could have 1 teammate. You could have 2 teammates. Anybody can do this in 30 days if you're intentional. So if you're thinking, I think I might be that red jacket that we're looking for, chat with me, chat with my mom, whoever you work with a lot with recruiting and asking your business questions. We will give you intentional weekly goals to get there, because this is not something where it's like, well, if you want your red jacket, you'll have to spend 40 hours a week, because you don't have 40 hours a week to spend. I mean, I could be wrong, but most of us don't have 40 hours a week just laying around to work on Mary Kay. It's something that you can do with 10 minutes a day, but you will have to faithfully do your 10 minutes a day. So it's not a goal everyone hits. I've heard a lot of people say they want their red jackets, but then that didn't happen because they weren't really willing to commit that time. So if you're like, you know what, it's time and I want it and I'm ready, let's do it. Anybody can get their red jacket in 30 days. So I'm really excited about that. So we're looking for 1 red jacket, and we're looking for 2 people to move into the senior consultant position. And a senior consultant is somebody who has 1 or 2 active teammates on their team. And an active consultant is someone who's placed an order of 225 or more in that month, and they stay active for the following 2 months when they place that first order. So sometimes you get a teammate and they don't order right away. That happened to me. That's okay, but you don't get that title of senior until that teammate has ordered. So I'm really excited about this because I feel like these are really tangible goals. So maybe you're thinking, you know what, I don't know if I'm ready to work at the level it would take to get a red jacket from where I am, but I think I could get 1 teammate. And a tip I heard today that was a really good way of thinking who you might even want to ask is, think of if we were going to jump on this Zoom meeting and this person was on our Zoom meeting as somebody else's teammate, and you were like, oh, she could have been on my team, but I wasn't brave enough to ask her. Whoever it is that pops into your mind that you're going, oh, I would just die if she joined Mary Kay or somebody else, because I've had this happen to me. I was at a big Mary Kay thing and this lady walked in as somebody else's teammate, and I was like, I never asked her because I was too scared of what she would think of me. I mean, it's not a great feeling, and the only person I had to blame was me. So think that through. Who is it that you're like, wow, she would be really good at this? I'd love to work with her. And I would really hate for her to join under somebody else when she would be such a good fit in our unit, or maybe she joined somebody else's unit. So then we didn't get to do that. So that would be my tip for you, to start kind of thinking of who you'd really want to be teammates with. And I realize sometimes we share with whoever will listen, but sometimes we can also be a lot more intentional choosing exactly who we're sharing with. So that's just, start making that mental list if you are wanting any of those positions. The next thing I want to tell you about is the rock and recognition. There's a lot of announcements the first night of the month, so hang in there, okay? If you need to turn your camera off and shake it around to loosen up your brain, that's fine. But rock and recognition is on Mary Kay In Touch. If you go on there, they will give you all of the scoop about that. But they are doing special prize giveaways all month in March, and it'll be for consultants, all consultants. So if you hop on, they're going to do a Facebook Live in I believe it's the My Mary Kay private Facebook group. And if you're not on there, there's a link on Mary Kay In Touch. You can join that every Wednesday. Not every Wednesday, the first 4 Wednesdays of March. So starting this Wednesday, they're going to go live at 11 a.m. Central Time. So that's when they're going live, and they're going to give away 100 prizes on each of these. So that's 4 different times, and they're just picking randomly from the people that are watching. So if you can work that into your schedule, whether that's a lunch break, or you can, you'll want to be on there. They're calling it Rock and Recognition. It's something they've never done before, and I'm really excited about it. And they announced it today. If you're a more detailed kind of person, that's the general idea, but all the details about it are on Mary Kay In Touch. It'll be one of the they do those big banners that go across the middle, it's one of the big announcements. You can click there and they will give you all the details. And then last one, and then I'm going to turn it over to other people, so hang in there. The last one is the new lipstick combos. Did you see that they launched a new lipstick, lip liner combo? I did not know about this, so I was as surprised as the next guy. But they launched these. They're limited edition, and right now in the COVID world we live in, limited edition tends to go fast. Those adorable travel bags from last month are sold out. I was shocked. So if you were excited about these, I'd recommend going ahead and ordering sooner than later. the new lipstick combos. It's a lipstick and lip liner that are perfectly matched together, which I thought was great because I love both of those. And sometimes it's hard to find your exact shade. Like they can be close, but maybe not exact. And there's a nude combo, so it's a really neutral, pretty, goes with every outfit kind of color. And then there's also a pink that's kind of a deeper pink. It's more of a like a berry pink, if that's a thing. I feel like berry's more purple, but that's how it looked to me. I haven't gotten to try it in person because I didn't even know they were launching these things. So I haven't seen it, but in the pictures, I'm really excited about it. And the other thing is it's $28 for the combo, which is $2 off what it would have been if you bought a lipstick and a lip liner separately. That would be $30. So market it to your customers that way. Tell them, hey, this is a little bit cheaper. This is an exact perfect match. And all Mary Kay products come with 100% guarantee. So if they don't love the color, we can exchange it for them as consultants. It doesn't cost them anything to exchange it for a different shade, and it doesn't cost us anything. And if you're like, oh, I'm scared to tell people about that because I don't know how to do product replacement, I can walk you through that. The first time it probably is going to be a little confusing, but after that, after you've done it once, it gets easier. As with anything, the more you do it, it gets easier. So don't be afraid to tell your customers about that, even if you haven't actually done that before. I've done it many times, and it really builds their confidence in you as their consultant because they know, oh, she has my back. She's not going to charge me, and she really does take care of me when it's the wrong shade or the wrong whatever, wrong formula for my skin. It really builds their confidence in us. So that was a lot of announcements, I know, but there's a lot of important things coming up and a lot of things I wanted you to know about because new months are just the best. I am all about a fresh start. I think they're just the best thing ever. So I'm going to turn it over to you. We talked about this last week. We'll see if people have more to share, but we're going to turn it over to Crow Time. And Crow Time is when you share something exciting or interesting that's happened for you this past week. It does not have to be about Mary Kay. It could be just something great, like, I don't know, you got a new home, something like that. Anything that's just kind of exciting for you. I know that you're like, wow, that would be really big. I feel like we'd all know, but I just wanted to give an example and I went extreme. So here we are. But I want to turn it over to anybody that would like to share something that they're just, something nice that happened for them last week. Just wave and then I'll call your name and you can unmute. So I'm going to mute. Actually, I'm not going to mute me because I won't be able to say your name. Okay. Who wants to start? Jackie, go ahead and unmute and share with us.
Okay, so my niece Melanie's staying with me till the weekend, and then we're going to NASCAR in Phoenix with
Oh,
husband, my two brother-in-laws, her. Friday I go pick up 3 of the grands, and they're coming back here to Flagstaff for a little bit. So it's going to be fun. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on right now.
yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a lot of family time. And I mean, we could all agree that it's been a little harder to get family time this year than it maybe ever has been. So that is just amazing. Oh, you're going to have so much fun. Better post those pictures. And Rebecca is here. She told me she's going to be able to hop on, but a little bit late. Okay, who else has something they want to share? Just wave and all, because I don't want us all be talking over each other. But no one else is raising their hand. There we go. Okay, Mom, go ahead.
So I got to sit right where Whitney is just a couple days ago. I got to see Whitney and her husband and our other daughter, Ashley, and her husband and the grandkids last week in Florida. And that was pretty great. So I loved that. And then one more thing is I'm just so proud of our Future Hope unit because we had more production than we've ever had. We beat our best. And really, everybody was just working their businesses. Evelyn was new and did her first order, but for the most part, it was just people working their businesses for their families. And I just really was so tickled to see that. So that was just really cool. Proud of you guys.
Big deal. Yeah, that is a really big deal because I'm going to be honest with you. Some DIQs, that's a really hard piece of it, is having a strong enough team to hit that production. You guys sailed past it. Like it was never a worry if. It was just, oh, well, that part's just totally done. And that's really exciting. It just shows me how strong your future unit is going to be. And I'm just really excited to see that happen. Does anybody else have something they want to share? I do not want to shut us down too early. Okay. I'll let you think on it for next week. We're going to do this every week. So you have to be ready. You have to be thinking about all the great things that have happened. And it doesn't have to be monumental. It could be like, I sold a lip gloss last week and I just really needed to know I could still sell product. Okay. We've all had those weeks. So even if it's something like that, we want to hear it because sometimes you just need to know, okay, it's going to be okay. It is going to work out. All right. And I am going to have my mom at this time walk us through the career path and do some recognition for that.
Okay, ladies, this is exciting. Okay, so who do we have on here tonight that is an independent beauty consultant? So you don't have any teammates yet and you are with the company. We have Evelyn, Candace, Tracy, and I think Janet. Yes. And I think Pam as well. So good deal. All right. Way to go, ladies.
And Rebecca.
And
is about
Rebecca.
to change.
Right. It's about to change. I think later tonight that's going to change. So we'll be announcing that on the Fearless Unit page. But yes, I suppose that, yes, she is an independent beauty consultant as of this meeting. Yes. Okay. Then next up, senior consultants, 1 or 2 active teammates wave wildly. And that is Mindy. We have a few more. Maybe aren't on here tonight, but very good. Okay. All right. And who is iPhone? Put your name in there.
That's Jackie.
Oh, Jackie. Right. Jackie, you are an independent beauty consultant, right? I'm sorry. My brain is like crazy. All right. Good. All right. Very good. Okay. Star recruiters. They have 3 to 4 team members. They're in their red jacket. We have anybody on here tonight in the red jacket? We have
Amanda had to work. We all know she's very faithful to these meetings. You're probably all wondering where she is, how faithful she is. She had to work. So we'll give her a little shout out because she wanted to be here really badly.
And it won't be long till we have more of those. I feel like getting another red jacket this month is almost in the bag. Yes, we are so close. But it's anybody's game. I mean, even like for Amanda, it was like all of a sudden it just came together. So just keep doing the work. If you keep doing the work, it will happen. Okay, super. So I don't think we have any team leaders on here, but a team leader has 5 to 7 in their team. And your commissions increase when you go to team leader. And so that's pretty cool. And then elite team leader is 8 or more. And you can jump there also if you have a red jacket on your team, even if you're a team leader. I think that's a new thing they started last week. And then DIQs, there would be me, and that is if you have 10 or more and you've submitted for DIQ, and that would be me. And I'm supposed to tell you what I love about my MK life. I love that I can be in Florida and work in my business, and it's just fine, and in an airport a little bit, or I can land and a customer has just ordered some stuff while I was in the air. So all those things I just love, just having the freedom to work my business wherever, whenever, and in pockets of time. February, my life is a little bit crazy. My life is a lot crazy all the time, but it was crazy 2.0 for all of February. And it has calmed down a little bit for the minute, although there's been a couple crazies today extra, but we're still working on the calm down, but it's coming, and I'm excited to have a calmer month and be able to work my business even more. So that's it.
I love it. And I got to say, she really is not kidding that she's just working her business from Florida. She's sitting on the couch next to me, like Oakley's sleeping between us. She's like, oh, grand day. And like, just, you know, it's just like natural. Of course, she's having those because she had done the work before she got there and it was just trickling in. So never underestimate the power of the follow up. But I'm going to turn it over to Mindy. She graciously agreed. You're going to learn this about me quickly if you've not already. I will ask you to be part of the meeting the day of. I mean to ask the day before or the day before that. I often ask you the day of, and she graciously has agreed to be part of this, as has everyone else on here that is part of the meeting. They were asked today and they were like, great, sure, it's fine. So I appreciate you and I appreciate your flexibility, but she is going to give us some more recognition for those who had great weeks last week.
Okay, everyone. Hey, happy Monday. We are looking for some Grand Day Achievers. If you were a Grand Day Achiever between February 21st and February 28th, those are the dates we're looking for. Do we have anybody? I see Amy. Janet, good job. Let me see. Whitney, are you catching anybody?
I believe Rebecca, oh, she's clapping, I think. She has her hand up, so maybe Rebecca. I think so, actually. Can you put it in our chat if you did, Rebecca? I want to make sure I'm getting you all the recognition. Oh, gotcha. I think if you click again, raise hand, it'll go away. I've had the same thing. Oh, she had 2 grand days.
Oh, she
there
had
it
2
is.
grand days.
Yay.
Okay, Amy, did you have any more than 1? I figured. Do you know how many you had? How about Janet?
Muted. Mom, I think you're, yeah.
I had 2 or 3. I can't remember how they all landed. So I meant to look back and see how I posted them.
You better look that up quick.
Well, I know how much I sold, but I don't know how many of them were grand days in the sale.
Sure.
I see. How about Janet? Did you have more than 1, Janet? Where are we?
Was it for this month, did you say, or a certain day?
Yeah, February 21st through February 28th, 1 week.
Oh, one.
Okay, very good, very good. It's a great start. All right, we are looking for.
I know Rebecca can't unmute right now, but she had 2, which is super exciting.
Good job, Rebecca. All right, who are our star consultants? If you are on target for the star consultants, wave at us. Anyone? I know Amy is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't move. I'm on my phone, so I can't move my screen quick enough.
No, you're fine. I think it's just my mom for tonight. We have several others that are close, but we had a lot of weird conflicts tonight for our meeting. It was a weird start.
Is Janine still on? I'm not sure where she is tonight.
She is, and she had the same thing. She had an unusual conflict with the meeting. So she was another one where she was planning to be here. And then I think it was a church meeting that she doesn't normally have on Mondays came up tonight.
Okay, so now here's a question for all of you. Who's going to work towards that star consultant? Come on, guys, get all those hands up. You can do it.
The only
I'm talking
failure
to
is
myself.
not trying. I know.
All right.
Good
So let's see. Who shared the opportunity this week? Do we have anyone that shared at least once?
So I know what training is going to be on next week.
No one shared. You know what, guys? If we don't share, we can't get team members. Come on, we can do it. I'm talking to myself too. Okay.
Honestly.
So I'm guessing that means we don't have any new team members this week. But Rebecca is working on one, but that'll be this coming week, right?
Yes, she has her team member and she's about to go active. So she's about to be a senior, which is very exciting.
Yes. So, we didn't go with the Queen of Sales.
Do you want to do that for us? That'd be great if you want to see who our Queen of Sales was for us.
So I think Janet had 1 grand day, but Amy and Rebecca, your sales, we need to know, right?
Yes, and Rebecca put in the chat that she sold 232 last week.
Good job, Rebecca.
Yeah,
okay.
Good for her. It doesn't matter if that's first or second. That's very impressive.
Absolutely. And Amy, now listen, guys, she was in Florida. She lives in Arizona. And her week was, what was that again? It went too fast. 388.50.
388.50.
Way to go, Amy. So she is our Queen of Sales. Let's give her a hand.
I think we need to know how she did that because I think we'd all like to be selling 388.50 in a week. So can you tell us how that happened?
So primarily it happened from a party that Evelyn was at. And it was what I call a sleeper party, just no sales, but a lot of people on there. And we kind of chatted through Messenger Some people really didn't get back to me at all in Messenger, but the party happened on February the 9th and there had been 0 sales. And I just kept every once in a while say, hey, you ready to get that order in or whatever? And when I started mentioning that I could invoice them, it's like that relieved the missing link and everybody could order. So it was great. And that really was a big part of it. And then I sold a retinol set to somebody, and then I can't remember. The most of it was from that party, but some of it was some resales, just texting people wanting something.
Can you give us an estimate? How many times do you think you messaged people like per person on that party?
Okay, so you guys remember how the 21-day booking challenge is you get back with people 5 or 6 times? 5 or 6 times. And now I'll go to the next level with all those people and say, hey, how would you like to earn some free product with the party? And I also will share, and then I will also send them to my Facebook VIP page to join that. So working full circle, you want to kind of work towards all those things with anybody who's interested. Now, obviously, some of the people said, you know what, I'm not interested, or I already have a consultant. And then that's great. And that's just fine. But those that'll talk to us, just kind of working through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to point that out because I am so guilty of like 2 or 3 messages tops. And then I'm like, they are not buying anything. They're going to think I'm the creepy Mary Kay stalker. I'm done. When reality is they're just busy. They're just busy. And when we can solve that piece for them, we don't know which piece they need solved, but it might be that they just don't quite understand how to order. And they don't have the mental capacity to even like learn one more thing at the end of the day. So when she said, hey, I can just send you an invoice if you let me know what you need, it was like, oh yeah, I can do that. But learning, I mean, we've all been on a website trying to order before, and it's not as easy as you want it to be. And it's not that important to you. So you're like, you know what, I just can't. We've all been on the other side of that. So I think when we can put ourselves in that mindset, it helps us send them one more message because we really are helping them and we're helping our hostess. We really want to remind them that we're helping our hostess. So I really appreciate that. And I wanted you to share that because I knew all the background because I was there, but I felt like everyone needed to hear how important that follow-up was to that week because this started 3 weeks of faithful follow-up. So, I mean, that's a challenge to me for sure. Okay, so congratulations to our queen of sales. And to be the queen of sales, you have to sell at least 300. And to be the queen of sharing each week, because we're going to do a queen of sharing every week. That's kind of new, but I feel like it's important. And a lot of us are working to move up the career path. So I thought we should have a queen of each. To be the queen of sharing, you have to do at least 3 shares. And shares are not that tricky. You can share the video that I put up in our Facebook group with me, just sharing my story. And then we do a quick follow-up. Usually via phone call is the best way. It's a little bit, I have found, I've done both texting and phone call follow-ups. I do think phone call is better. I also realize that better than not doing it at all is texting. So this is not a hard and fast thing. If we can't call, it doesn't count, but this is a best practice is a phone call. Second best is texting because the bottom line is we want to have conversations. And that's why I love that video because it starts the conversation. It's not the end of the conversation. It's not a, they watched the video, we're done. It's a, they watched the video, let's work through some questions about this now. And that's all shares are. Usually, I mean, a sharing phone call, I would say takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And that's about it because people are, they usually kind of go into it knowing what their questions are, if they're interested or if they're not. Sometimes it'll go a little longer than 10 or 15 minutes, but that would be abnormal. I don't like to waste people's time because I know they have a lot of other things going on. So I'm pretty like, I try to be really polite, but I try to be pretty direct with what we're doing. Cause I also don't like it when someone, you know, they really want to ask you something, but they're kind of beating around the bush. I try to keep our sharing phone calls like we're going to talk about what we're here about. This isn't the elephant in the room. We're here to share about Mary Kay. We're here to help either train your consultant so she can learn how to share because when you're new, you can earn those pearls of sharing. And if you're not new, but you still haven't earned your pearls of sharing, we can do that. They have updated the pearls, so they're beautiful. Anybody can earn them. It's an open offer for any consultant that has not gotten the new pearls. I do not keep track of your pearl shares, so it's up to you to just kind of jot down, okay, I shared with Susie and I followed up with either Whitney or Amy, depending on who's, like if you're in my unit, future unit, or if you know, whoever, which one of us you share with. where we're kind of part of that conversation, that counts for your pearls. So keep track on your end, because it may be that you have earned more pearls than you've gotten. And that's because I would love for you to keep track of it. I probably should be able to keep track of all that, but since organization is not my best thing, I haven't. So I'm going to recommend for you to. Janet, do you have a question about pearls? I think I see your hand. I know. Yeah.
I can talk to you later, but
Sure.
I was just wondering, when you share, does that mean what does that mean?
You know what?
I'm
That's
sure there's a meaning.
No, that's a good question. And I think it's important, because if we're using terms where people are like, I don't know what this means, and that's not helping anybody. So sharing is just sharing about the Mary Kay opportunity, and it's sharing like the business side of it. So that's all that is. But I really appreciate you asking
Oh.
that, because there's probably other people that didn't know that and they weren't brave enough to ask because they thought, oh, maybe I should. But I really appreciate you asking. And I actually think on the 15th, I was asking around about spring break dates, because I know a lot of times people travel or have other plans, but I think we are going to do a meeting on the 15th. And I think on that meeting, I will do more information on sharing specifically, because several people have asked about that. And I also don't want you to have to wait until the 15th. So if you have questions right now, let's Vox. But I do want you guys to all know that I am going to do a group training on that soon as well, because I want everyone to be able to have that info. So I'm really glad you asked that. But for tonight, I am going to get to our training for tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about Mary Kay and social media, because that can be like a mystery. Like what can you do? What should you do? What should you not do? So I'm going to try to kind of take away some of the mystery from it. So here's how I'd recommend, if you're going to take notes tonight, here's what I'd recommend. Here's how I kind of wrote it on my page. I put personal, and that's like describing my personal page, like where all my just general, life stuff is. And then I put my private VIP group on the other side. So in like 2 different columns. And then I drew a line between the two, so I can kind of clarify what's okay on your general social media and then what should stay in your group. And then past that, like what exactly should you post in your group? Like, and what is a group better than a page? All these little things where we all have a million social media questions. So I'm going to try to cover some of them without getting too details and everyone going, oh boy, I can't do this. So, all right. So we're going to make it simple, because I think it's a lot simpler than we make it. We just sometimes don't have anybody who's telling us what'll work, or we have too many voices telling us what'll work, and it's just overwhelming. So to simplify, here's a couple things. Here's what is great to post in your private group. So in this column, in your private group, this is where your customers are. Most of the time we've done a Mary Kay debut. If you've joined since March of last year, most of our Mary Kay debuts have been done in a private group on Facebook. After your debut party, keep that group, and that can just become your customer group. They're already there. Those are the people that were interested in Mary Kay with you. So it turns into your customer VIP group. That's where you can post your Mary Kay deals. So if you want to do a special discount, that's fine. That's in your Facebook private group. If you want to do a giveaway, that is wonderful in your Facebook private group. If you want to,
do what your parents think. And I was like, I don't know, it's gonna be a surprise for them, more like a surprise for me. They're probably gonna chase my ass down with chocolate.
okay, I think we're good. I was making sure I didn't have a question, because I know sometimes that happens. So, sorry, let me regroup a little bit. Okay, the things that you post in your Mary Kay group are, if you're going to do anything special that's a discount of any sort, so any kind of special that's just for your customers, you want to keep that in the private group. And here's why. Part of our Mary Kay consultant agreement, and if you're like me, like you did not read every word in that, or most of the words in that, because it's a lot. And I mean, let's be real, we all sign our name and we're like, I'll try not to violate anything. That's what most of us are doing. Maybe you can't share this now, so it'll have to just stay here. But that's what most of us did. But part of our consultant agreement, I'll tell you here so you know this, is that we agree that we're not ever going to steal another customer. And no one in this Mary Kay group would ever steal someone intentionally. That's not who any of you are. But unintentionally, if we're posting our specials and our deals on our main Facebook page, we're all loyal to a deal. I mean, honestly, if I'm going to go to 2 different stores, like let's say Walmart versus Target, and it's cheaper at one or the other, and they're just as convenient, I'm going to the one where it's cheaper. as Mary Kay ladies, we don't ever want to accidentally steal a customer because we would probably have no idea. It's not like they're saying, oh, hey, yeah, I usually order from Crystal, but because you posted this deal, they're not going to tell you all of that. So you just got a new customer and you don't know the background. So that's why we want to be really cautious. We want to protect our Mary Kay sisters. And the nice thing is we can expect them to do the same for us. This is not the norm in direct sales. In direct sales, it's often very cutthroat, and whoever has the best advertising wins. That is not what we're doing in Mary Kay. In Mary Kay, it is the golden rule. It is putting each other first. It's honoring and respecting our sister consultants. And our unit is great about that, but that's why. And I know sometimes it's a little bit like, oh, should I not? If you ever have any kind of like doubt, if you can put it on your personal page, just ask me. I will be honest with you, but I'll be nice about it. Because I know sometimes we hate to ask if we should or shouldn't. So we're just like, they're going to be like, I can't believe you don't know this. I'll never say that, because if you can do it wrong, posting it on your personal page, I have done it. I made a lot of mistakes when I first started. So I've had to have Nancy come to me and like really gently be like, hey, so we can't actually post that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know. So I'm always going to be kind, but I also know that sometimes it's a little unclear. So something that's totally safe to post on your personal page. So if you just want to post something about Mary Kay, you can post about products in general. That's fine. We just don't want to post a lot about prices. So we can say, you could post a before or after picture. Like if you love how your skin looks and feels, like pre-Mary Kay versus post, that's more than fine to post on your personal page. But what they ask us not to do is do a call to action. And that's when we're asking someone to take action on what we posted. Like, if you love what you see here, you would love this skincare set. Chat with me if you don't have a Mary Kay consultant. And sometimes we like to use that, if you don't have another Mary Kay consultant, it's kind of like the catch-all. So we say, well, I did my due diligence, so I can post this on my personal page, but best practice is not to. And I'll be honest with you, there are other people who do post like that on Facebook. I cannot control what anyone else does. I can only control what I do. And I want to protect your businesses. And I will say also, usually when I see someone posting something like that on Facebook, they're not getting a lot of response anyway. So I wouldn't, if I were you, be too worried about like, well, if they're doing that, they're going to get all this business. Really, the people that are interested in Mary Kay the most are going to be in your private Facebook group. So that's where that post is going to do better anyway. You're really not losing anything, because you can also ask those questions in private messages. If you think your friend Susan would love this, just message Susan. She will also be a lot more likely to respond than if you post it in your general out in the main Facebook, because she's busy. She's got other things. She saw her kids soccer team, and she's scrolling down to get to that picture. She's not seeing that. But if you directly text or message Susan, she goes, oh yeah, I have been looking for a product like that. And you're asking her there, hey, do you have another Mary Kay consultant? I can see that Max is being vocal, but I can't hear him, and it's really cute because he's just like, I'm here, I want to be part of this. He's trying to help us. So that's kind of the difference between what you can and what you should post on your private page versus your main page. And I know this is a little bit of a gray area sometimes, so always feel free to message me if you want to text me a picture and say, hey, is this okay? I'll be honest with you, and I'll be kind to both of those things. And if you have something where you're like, I feel like this is a question everybody is wondering right now and you haven't covered it, put it in the chat and I will answer a few questions later. Or even if you think maybe this just applies to me, still put it in the chat. And if I'm like, well, I'll talk to you one-on-one later, then at least I know you have it. So that's kind of just the general what goes where. Second of all, okay, what should I even post? Sometimes that's tricky because we don't want to come across as super salesy, but we are selling things. So you do need to do some sales. So it's like, oh, what's the balance? So what I've heard recommended and what has worked really well for me is they say pick 3 or 4 things that you're pretty interested in and post about those. One of those is going to be Mary Kay, of course, because we're Mary Kay consultants, and then pick 2 or 3 other things that are important in your life. And if you want to like jot some things that come down to mind while I'm talking, that's perfect. Here's some other things that you'll see me post a lot about. And this can be true in your personal page and in your private group, because in your private group, they're, if they just want to buy from you, they'll just go to your website. They want that to be a community. I want my private group to feel like a special community, just like our Fearless Unit group does. We're silly on there. We cheer each other on. We have a lot of fun. That's exactly how I want my customer page to feel. My customer group, I should say. that's the feeling I want there. So I'm going to post silly things on there too. But a couple things that I post about personally is Oakley. I mean, if you're friends with me, you've seen 8,000 pictures of my dog because I love her to death. Everybody loves a puppy, and if they don't, they're wrong. So I can't be friends with them. So that's that part, in my opinion. But post about things that are important in your life. If all we do is post about Mary Kay, people will stop looking at what we post because they'll just assume it's about our business, and they will go, she's not even a real person anymore. And we've all seen that happen, and I have been guilty of being that way. So have variety in what you're posting. Another thing, I love to laugh very, very much. So I post silly things that I see all the time. If I see like a funny picture or a meme or whatever, I'm going to share it because everybody loves to laugh. And I feel like the brighter my little corner of Facebook is, the more likely people are to have at least a positive feeling about me, which, yes, that will help my business, but also just in general, that's kind of who I want to be as a person. So let's be honest, there are a lot of things we can have really strong opinions right now in this world. You have 10 that just came to your mind. We all have them. I am not going to tell you what you can or cannot post on your Facebook because that is your business. What I will say is that I can go a lot of places to find negativity. I cannot go a lot of places to find positivity. So I have chosen that in my corner of Facebook, the things that people see there will make them feel encouraged, uplifted, or thoughtful about the things of the Lord. Those are the three things that I'm going for, because not everything has to be happy-go-lucky. Not everything is. Sometimes you do need to post something thought-provoking that's going to turn people back to God, who is the end of all things anyway. But that's what I would recommend. Think of ways that you can improve your circle. One, it will make your business better. Yes. So in a business sense, that's a good thing. But also you will find that the people that you're interacting with, it's a lot happier place to be. And this is not like an admonishment because I see a lot of people doing this wrong. That's just a general, I want you to know that there is thought behind what I post. Because I know sometimes it's like you don't know what another person is thinking, but I am very thoughtful about what I do or don't post on Facebook. My general rule is if I have any kind of hesitation about it, I'm just not going to. And once again, you are all grown women. You do not have to follow my rules on this, but this is something I've seen go poorly or go very well for other people on Facebook, especially that have a business. So I'd recommend having some variety. And these are all things that can be true in your private group as well. You don't just have to post about Mary Kay. I love Oakley, and Oakley got into my Mary Kay a couple weeks ago and ate a lip liner. I posted that picture in my group. It was both of those things with Oakley, and she was wearing lip liner. So it's okay to post silly things because you're a real person, and go live in your group sometimes because you're going to make mistakes. Not in spite of, but because of. They want to know you're a real person. And they want to see you have that little moment in the middle of doing your eyeshadow tutorial, because it is weird watching yourself do it on camera. It's weird watching yourself do your makeup because it's all backwards. Where you're going, wait, which side am I on? Like that's real life, and people feel so much more connected to you when they see you as a real person. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe it shouldn't be a complete disaster, although that has its place too, but just be you, hop on there with a cup of coffee. My mom does this, I don't know, probably once or twice a week. She'll just hop on for a few minutes before work and just chat, tell people about what she's got going on that day. Sometimes she'll talk about Mary Kay. Sometimes she won't. It's just a little coffee chat. It doesn't always have to be a sales pitch, and people don't even want it to be a sales pitch all the time. They know if they're going to buy something or not. What they want to know is you. You are what is coming to Mary Kay. They can get Mary Kay other places. They chose to get it through you. And you are your own best resource on that. So that's what I wanted to kind of share with that. And you want something that has a question. Because have you ever, you get a text and it's informational. You don't necessarily feel like you have to reply to it, right? Sometimes we just take in that information and we've got it, so we move on. And that sometimes when we send out a message like that about Mary Kay, it's like, oh, and no one gets back with you. If we don't end it with a question, they don't really have anything to respond to. It's the same thing on Facebook. If you want to post something and you want a response, have a question as part of it. And something that I learned from Kayla, she wanted to be on here tonight, but she couldn't. Kayla puts her question on the picture instead of just in the words. Like in the picture, it'll say, post a GIF of what kind of morning person you are. It has nothing to do with Mary Kay, but everybody's excited about it because we are all different people. You've got the morning people, which I am not one of. My mom is. I am the rolls out of bed. It's a struggle. But that's the kind of stuff, just make it something fun and engaging, something that you don't have to have any kind of, I don't know, degree to be good at answering this question. Can it be about Mary Kay? Of course. Does it have to be about Mary Kay? No. So that's kind of some things I wanted to share on that. And if you're going, I don't know what my 2 or 3 other things should be, just like reach out and we'll brainstorm together. Mine change, our lives change, honestly. So a year ago, I was remodeling my house a lot. And by me, I mean my grandfather was remodeling my house. I posted about that all the time because that was my real life. That was happening all the time. People loved that. It's exciting to watch something happen. I will tell you, it's a lot more exciting to watch it through a screen than it is to live through. Well, I'm excited. It was exciting to live through it, but woo, HGTV is really a great place to watch that kind of stuff. Living through it is a lot. So, but that was my life a year ago. And now we have Oakley. She's kind of replaced that because she's a big part of my life. So don't be afraid to change it up. If you have kids, they're a big part of your life. So post about that soccer game that you're at. And maybe you have your Mary Kay sunscreen on while you're there. It can be part of it without being the whole thing. And it also, you can have a post that could be about Mary Kay where you're not necessarily making it about Mary Kay. Does that make sense? It doesn't, because I was crazy the way I said that. Let me try again. I know it didn't make sense. Let me try that again. I will talk sometimes on Facebook about my great circle of friends and how glad I am I met them. I don't necessarily say it is because of Mary Kay, because some people stop listening as soon as they hear that. Sometimes they just need to know that there is something good in your life, and you don't have to directly say that it comes back to your business. It doesn't make it less true, but it might make it more palatable for those that are watching. So those are just a couple tips. I know some of those are really broad, some of those are really specific. Yes, my mom is right. I'm looking at the comments right now. She said, you return to things that are a positive experience. It's so true. You return to things that make you feel good, make you feel important, make you feel valued. So that's really what we're trying to do for our customers, and, privately reach out to them. Facebook groups, hear me on this, are not a replacement for privately speaking to folks. And I can be the first one that's guilty of it, because it is so much easier to just put up a Facebook post than it is to go through and text every single person. But that is not, relationships is everything in a business. So easy and best are often not the same things. So sometimes there are days, and there are maybe even weeks or months, where we just need easy, and that is okay. But when we can do best, we should do best. Best is private messaging and doing Facebook posts. Sometimes we're not there, okay? And that is okay. Real life happens. There are days, there are weeks and months where we just can't be our best version in our business. Beautiful thing about Mary Kay is it is a side business for most people, so it doesn't have to be your main thing. But if you want it to be successful, you're going to need to do some days at least of best, and that's where that private messaging comes in. So I wanted to kind of just give some guidelines about social media. One benefit of a group versus a page. I've had a lot of people ask me about this. I've had both. Facebook has algorithms, which is super mathy sounding, but basically what Facebook does is it is a math. That's not how you say that at all. It is a formula. My mom homeschooled me, so this is all her. So she's like, don't look at me right now. This is exactly how it went as well. So all of this that you're seeing, this is 100% how my education was. Me getting it wrong and mom going, oh, I hope no one knows. There are formulas that tell them what's popular and what's not popular. So they will not show a business page to as many people as they will show a group to, because business pages are generally speaking not as popular in the public as a private group is. A private group feels more special. A public page is more vague and open. So Facebook will actually show your posts to more people. It will show your posts to more people the more comments are on it. So sometimes I will go and comment on my own post to just help the visibility of it. That's why that matters. It can be a little tricky. Facebook will sometimes say, if the word sale is in there, we're not going to show it to as many people. They're constantly kind of changing it up. Honestly, it's a little too hard to keep up with everything, so we're all doing the best we can. But yes, Tracy makes such good points. Like, share, comment, save. Those are 4 great things to ask people to do. A comment goes a long way. That's why you want to ask for comments back. And not every post is going to be successful. That is okay. I have a lot of posts where it's like, I'm not sure anyone saw that. Or you see that everyone saw that, nobody cared. Like that doesn't feel good, but that's just how it is sometimes. And it's okay. It doesn't kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I am stronger because of poor posting that I've done. There are times of day that are going to be more popular than others. You can't really know until you've done some posting. And then you can kind of see, Saturdays at 5 p.m., people tend to really kind of respond to this. Or strangely, Tuesdays at 10 a.m., middle of a work day, but people are on there right then. So you'll find as you do it what times are more popular. And in a group, the other beautiful thing is that you can schedule your posts ahead of time. So if you know you have a bunch of busyness coming up, but you do want to still be, showing up, so to speak, on there, you can schedule it ahead of time. That is a very helpful tool that I don't think is available on a page as well. So that's the other thing that I think makes it a better choice. So those are a couple of the things, and I know most of us have groups already, but I get a lot of questions like, what's better, why? I'm not a Facebook expert. You could probably have your doctorate in Facebook by this point, is how much goes on with it. But that is what I do know. That's the information I have. So I know that was like a lot that we went over tonight, but I really appreciate you ladies being on here and investing this time. I know it's not easy. I know you're working out dinner and family and work and all the things to be here. So I really appreciate your time. And I asked Tracy if she would share a little bit of inspiration with us tonight, and she was really excited to do so. And I know it's going to be great. So I will turn it over to her.
Okay, really excited. Yeah, really excited. Okay, so so I did some research after she asked me to do this, and I actually spoke with my son who has been in sales for several years, and I told him that I found this quote that I was going to share with my Mary Kay ladies. And it's never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. And that's F. Scott Fitzgerald. And that kind of goes along with the no, or having someone tell you no, they're not interested, but you have to listen for the no. I have it in my notes somewhere, but I know one of the senior people that we've listened to on here before has talked about let them talk, let them think. Don't keep talking to provoke an answer. Let them think about what you're telling them and what you're selling them. And another little bit that I found that I thought was neat was, and very applicable to what Mary Kay does, is to serve, not sell. And so if you're trying to sell, you kind of come across, we all have experience with the seedy, gross feeling environment of being with a salesperson that is just trying to get the bottom dollar. And we're not trying to do that at all. We're trying to help ladies. And through feeling beautiful and taking care of themselves and feeling healthy, to improving their life by sharing the opportunity. So and I know Whitney has said this many times, and a no is, and no answer is not necessarily a no. So, but my son told me a story, and I just thought it was funny and kind of something to think about. He was trained in a retail store, and they had a campaign one time that was go for no. And I actually Googled it. It is a company now, goforno.com, and they have a book and they go and talk to people about it. But anyway, so he said that there's this man, he's a salesman, suit salesman, and not having any luck. People are coming in, they're not buying anything. One day this man comes in and he buys like, $10,000 worth of suit and clothes and, everything that goes with it. He was so excited. He went and called his boss and said, "Hey, this is so awesome. I just sold, $10,000 worth of stuff." And his boss was excited for him. And great, great, great. So can you show me everything that he said no to? And the salesman was like, "What? I don't know. He didn't say no to anything. He bought everything." And he said, "So did you close the sale for him? Or did he not, he didn't say no to anything. So you felt like he was finished?" So it's something to think about. It may not be as, you can scale that back, but it goes along with let them think. And then with Amy's experience, following up 5 and 6 times, just because they don't answer doesn't mean no. So anyway, so that's my bit.
That was really good. And I love that it's a real life practical thing of go for no. I've heard people say that before. There are units that do contests to see who can get the most no's. We've given out prizes for the most no's to booking before. It makes it feel a little better. You get a prize for getting all those no's, but it's so true. You can't get yeses without some no's. And you build that muscle of resilience the more you don't let a no take you down. We've all had those times when we did anyway, but I really appreciate that, Tracy. That was really good. And I really like ending our meeting with inspiration because it just gives you that little boost to go do it. And next week is our Spark Rally, and that's where we're with all the other units. Last time we had 11 on here, and the highest unit had 13. We were like so close. I thought we had won because she was the last one to tell us how much the number was. And I was like, I like pre-celebrated, and then I had to like keep it in when I when we had one. I was like, oh no, don't show that. Be excited for them. So our goal is to have as many as possible, but I think we should have at least 11. But I feel like if we go for 15, feels like 15 would do it. So I know we don't have 15 on here tonight, but this is like a big one. So if you have a team member that wasn't on here tonight, let them know and be like, hey, we're good, we're doing the thing. If we have the highest number, maybe I'll do like a prize for a unit or something as like a thanks for representing. I don't know yet. Maybe we'll just have the prize. But I wanted to remind you guys about that. It'll be same time, a different Zoom link. I'll send it out, but I am really excited. It's going to be great. So have a great night, ladies, and I will talk to you all a little bit later. Bye.